Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome, GCSE students, to today's Explainer. We're tackling Component 2, Sin and Forgiveness, specifically zeroing in on the tension between hell and a loving God. Honestly, this is one of the absolute most fascinating and frankly most challenging theological concepts in your entire syllabus. It's an issue that has sparked literally centuries of intense debate. So today we're going to break down the core logic of this theological framework, and we're going to use some really simple everyday analogies to do it. So, right out of the gate, we've got to confront the massive elephant in the room. Would a loving God condemn anyone to hell? I mean, it's a huge paradox, isn't it? If we're told that God is all-loving, that he desires to save absolutely everyone, how on earth could that same being deliberately send someone to a place of eternal suffering? Surely, an unconditionally loving parent wouldn't ever want to condemn their child to pain, right? This is the classic dilemma. It's exactly the question that skeptics, philosophers, and believers alike have wrestled with forever. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact tension we need to resolve: God's unconditional love versus the existence of hell. On the one hand, you've got this idea of God's unconditional love, the idea that God's care for humanity is absolute, no limits whatsoever. But then, on the other hand, there's the existence of hell, a complete state of separation from that love. How can these two realities possibly coexist? Like, if God's love is truly unconditional, shouldn't that just overpower the existence of hell? Well, the source material we're examining today offers a very specific, structured answer to this exact problem, but it requires us to completely rethink how we view the mechanics of divine judgment. Okay, so here is the definitive answer from our text, and honestly, it's kind of a massive plot twist. God does not send anyone to hell. No, seriously, this totally shifts the entire narrative. God isn't some cosmic punisher sitting on a throne, pointing a finger and banishing people to a fiery dungeon. To really grasp this, I want you to imagine your entire life is a massive road trip. God has handed you the keys to the car, he owns the car, he paved the roads, and he desperately wants you to drive to a beautiful destination to meet him. But, and this is absolutely vital, he absolutely refuses to drive the car for you. And that brings us to the core engine of this whole road trip analogy: free will. Simply put, this is the human ability to choose how to spend our life. Think of free will as literally the steering wheel of that car. You are entirely in the driver's seat. Because God's love is real, it can't be forced. I mean, true love requires a choice, right? If God forced you to drive to him, you'd just be a robot on autopilot, and there's no real love in that. So we humans have to choose our own path. We hold the steering wheel, and our moment-to-moment choices dictate the exact direction our lives are heading. Now, look, God doesn't just hand over the keys and say, okay, good luck, figure it out blindly. No, because his love is unconditional. God gave humanity a conscience. In our road trip analogy, your conscience is basically the ultimate built-in GPS system. It's your moral compass. It's constantly whispering directions, telling you right from wrong, and guiding you toward that good destination. Giving us this GPS is how he proves his love. He provides the directions. But respecting our free will means he is never going to forcefully grab the steering wheel out of our hands, even if we decide to totally ignore the GPS. But well, what happens when we decide we actually know better than the GPS? When we misuse our conscience, choosing to do evil, we are actively turning the steering wheel and driving far away from God. The source text is super clear on this consequence. If a person chooses to do evil, they will be far from God, no matter how much God wants them to come to him. You can almost hear the GPS saying, recalculating, recalculating, as you take wrong turn after wrong turn. God is waiting at the destination, hoping you'll turn around, but you are the one pressing the gas pedal and driving yourself further out into the wilderness. So the crucial point is really captured perfectly here. Hell is not a punishment, but a consequence of choosing to go against God. I really want you to just let that sink in for a second. This completely separates the idea of hell from like a punitive detention center. Hell is a natural consequence. Think about it. If you drive hundreds of miles out into the desert, away from the city, away from food and water, the isolation and thirst you experience, that isn't a punishment inflicted on you by the city planner. It's just the natural consequence of where you drove yourself. We choose our eternal destination by the choices we make every single day of our lives. So let's look at how this builds into a really clear, logical formula you can use in your exams. Step 1, God offers salvation. The destination is open, the route is totally planned out. Step 2, the human uses free will. You turn the steering wheel. You either follow the moral GPS of your conscience or you ignore it. Step 3, that choice determines your eternal destination. It's just an unbroken chain of cause and effect.
It is a profound level of responsibility. Your daily choices aren't just temporary actions. According to this theology, they are literally locking in the coordinates of your final destination.
And because of this immense respect for human free will, we arrive at this fundamental truth. Salvation is an offer you must accept. God can only offer it, right? He cannot enforce it. Think of salvation like a beautifully wrapped gift sitting right in front of you. God is holding it out to you. But a gift isn't truly yours until you reach out your own hands, take it, and open it yourself. God isn't going to force your hands open, and he definitely won't just shove the gift into your pocket. It is entirely up to you, the individual, to look at the offer and actively make the choice to accept it. Which leaves us with this final, intensely personal question. If salvation is a gift, will you choose to accept it? Even if you're approaching this purely from an academic, religious studies perspective, just think about the immense weight of this theological concept for a minute. It places the ultimate power and the ultimate responsibility squarely in human hands. It resolves the paradox not by making God somehow less loving, but by making human choice radically more powerful. You have the keys, you have the GPS, the destination is waiting. Which way are you going to drive today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep studying hard, and I'll see you next time.